Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. And
Myself a little.
introduce the board or call the roll or whatever you call it. I would like to make up something different every time.
Keep us glad
For this brilliant board.
Yes. Great.
Eve Marks,
Present.
Kathleen People is not here. Cheryl Adamshack here. Megan Hughes.
Present.
And Tina Montero, City Council liaison
Here.
and Tess Rowdy here. And Josh Mormon here, Assistant Library Director. And our leader, Jennifer Reddy.
Yes.
Okay, for approval of the minute. To close the door. I got it. I'm sorry, next one.
Yes, I'm saving a message.
Can I have a second?
I'll say,
I will.
Can we leave the door unlocked?
yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
Yeah, let's see, you know.
My coats in my car.
And we'd also like to introduce Joyce Hunt, she's visiting us today.
Welcome, Joyce. Thank you.
Okay. Josh, the Assistant Director report, you're up.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, as I tend to do, sort of mention the previous month programs and attendees. We had 7 folks show up for our Screening of the Yacht Show with Brother Garbo. Our board game night had 4 attendees. Our film screening of Pickup on South Street had 9. And then the big one was Celtic Harps, Rare Instruments, and Wonder Stories with Lisa Lynn and Ari Frankfurter, who had 49 people on a Wednesday.
They're always good.
They're always good. They're wonderful. So I don't want to overuse people.
How did they all get in here? We did, yeah, there were even a few empty seats.
Couple empty seats. Yeah, we're getting close to standing room. So yeah, then they're just always a real no-brainer. So that was the every time I've had either them as a duo or my very first program I ever had here was with Lisa's Hands on Heart program, which might very well have her back sooner rather than later, at least to do that, because it's different and it's not a concert, it's just more of a art workshop, which is really cool. So I might very well reach out to see if Lisa can come on her own to run that. So so it was great. Looking ahead to September, we have our board game night for grown-ups tomorrow at 5:30. This Saturday, we will be watching Dave with Kevin Kline and Sigourney Weaver. Kind of seemed like a apropos film to show during the season, which is weird because it's been one of those movies that a lot of people have even just mentioned. They're like, oh yeah, like even Aria at the concert, like, oh yeah, I was talking to somebody from the movie. So it's kind of interesting. And then on Saturday the 14th, we have someone you may have heard of named RJ Marks, who will be giving a presentation. Who? Seaside's Rock and Roll Labor Day Riots 1962, which he is doing research on the 3 straight years in which there were riots here.
I think you should be prepared for standing room.
Yeah, so.
Come in, hot second.
Yeah, so we were talking about bringing him in for each one of these distinct presentations. So this will be the first on the 14th at 2 o'clock. And then on Saturday the 21st at 1, we have our film screening of Paper Moon with Ryan O'Neal and Tatum O'Neal and Tatum's Academy Award winning performance in the Depression era comedy drama, road comedy drama. Directed by Peter Bogdanovich, and is going to feature Paul Laverick from the New York Film Academy, who will be doing his what he does, giving a great presentation on the movie beforehand and afterwards. I do have sort of a set number of people who really like coming to these ones specifically, so I'm sure we'll have nice discussion after the movie. So that's the September adult programs. Teens get a little lighter in September per usual, as Mary needs to decompress after a summer reading program. So we have a number of teen hangouts, which are on September 4th and September 18th at 3 o'clock. And that is just time for them to hang out, have some snacks and sort of be with each other. And then you have Saturday the 14th at 10, they have the monthly teen book club, which is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Dewar, which is a World War II era novel. I believe there's a Netflix docu series on it right now. And then on Wednesday the 25th, it'll be doing book cover art, so sort of pencil, marker, all that kind of stuff, and kind of recreating different book covers, which will also be during Freedom to Read Week, also known as Banned Books Week. So I'm sure there will be lots of interesting books as well for that. We though still do have a regular complement of preschool story time. So we have Thursday the 5th at 10:30, and the theme will be opposite, so it's just 2 days. On the 12th at 10:30, the theme will be manners. On the 19th at 10:30, the theme will be slugs and snails. And then before you know it, here we have on September 26th, the theme will be Hello Autumn. Is how the summer already give us a two-step. A week from today, we do have our new art show coming up. Lindsay Arts, who will be doing a collage. She does collage work. Really awesome stuff. She sent me an email with a bunch of the PDFs of the work, and it's just really dynamic stuff. And we're looking forward to seeing it. So that's going to come up a week from today. And then Saturday the 28th at 11 is our monthly youth Lego club. And then third week of September per usual is Banned Books Week / Freedom to Read Week with the theme. The theme that the American Library Association is doing, where is it?
Free between the lines.
Thank you, free between the lines. If we might get there eventually. Yeah, free between the lines. A little graphic is on its own calendar.
Free lines
Free between the lines is the sort of logo and slogan that they're using for the week this year. All I have on my official report, although not in my official report, we did have a really good summer reading program for the adults. I was counting all of the individual, just we had a thing where like people can bring in essentially kind of like a raffle ticket for like a monthly grand prize. And we turned in, I think that they had close to 300 individual ones that were close to 300 with 30.
Just adults.
That's just adults.
I think that's the most adult there.
Yeah.
Which included 34 individual people. So we do have people who are just burning through stuff and we're like, here you go, here's another 4 or whatever. But that's fine. People were super excited. They called our August winners this afternoon and left a message. So yeah, people were really happy about it, and the community was really supportive for offering things like gift cards and things like that. So definitely awesome. So
Really
important. Yeah, for sure. On both ends, right? People always think about juveniles, but like the adults do get excited about this too. So it's really cool.
We're doing anything more for Hispanic Heritage Month?
We're going to display right now. It's going to be featuring fiction, nonfiction as well for movies over by the this area. So.
Is there any questions? Okay, thank you, Josh. We'll go on to the library director's report.
Thank you. As you probably all know, but as you keep getting emails from me, I've continued to do the planning for the joint library board meeting, which will be next week, right here, in this state.
Doing the required reading.
And so yeah, I have my list of people I need to pester a little bit later today on RSVPs, but I think we're going to have a good crew of folks here participating, so I'm looking forward to that.
You need help? before or
I
during?
will let you know, but I don't
Since we're
think so.
posting it?
Suzanne is gonna, I believe, pick up the food and bring it from Astoria, because we're gonna order it from Gaetano's. And,
Well, if you do, let us know.
we're gonna, sort of, once I know how many folks are here or attending, then I can start working with Josh on how to set up the room for that day. And then, so in part of my, that community morning stuff I do Wednesdays with Chamber, Thursdays with STBA, I connected with some representatives from the Oregon WorkSource, which they just opened up their new office space over by the Eddie Bauer. So I have it on my calendar to go visit their space and get a sense of what goes on over there, because we often get folks here in the library who maybe need a little bit of extra help with applying for jobs, and we don't necessarily have that dedicated time to be able to spend with them. And there's also like some privacy issues around, setting up a password for emails and things like that. So knowing that we have someplace to direct folks if they need more time or more assistance is really, really helpful. And as Josh mentioned, we are preparing for recognizing Freedom to Read Week. It's a national annual celebration. Of course, it begins on Sunday, September 22nd, runs through the 28th. And as we mentioned, it's free between the lines. And as we've done in the past, we will have displays and some social media about the importance of why the freedom to read is so crucial. So
Are we doing a proclamation at city council?
I believe that's a good question.
We should.
I know we're doing one for Friends. We have Friends of the Library. It will be highlighted in October during Friends Week. But I will make a note, see if I can get on the agenda.
You, you need to get the permission, you need to get it to Kim like next week if you're gonna do it that first Monday. What is that? It's 22nd is the Monday. That we're meeting.
23rd, the Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, September 23rd.
Yeah, because they'll be planning that meeting next week.
Okay.
And, it should be real easy to rip down a proclamation off of ALA.
I will reach out and talk with the mayor about getting that on the
Yes.
campus. Thank you for that reminder. Let's see what else. Oh, I believe in the past I mentioned that we were expanding the WOW program to include that read aloud portion. At this point, we're just hosting this at Susanna Lease, and it's going really well. They're actually, as of this writing, they had reached out and asked if they could do it, expand to 2 days a week. So that has now been put into place, I think, moving forward. And we would love to expand to other, local community facilities, but it's sometimes hard to make those connections with the coordinators. So we continue to make those efforts and make this available, because Thomas Ryan, the reader, he's just really interested in reading aloud to people. And I think this is a really good fit, because we have, this sort of community of folks who I'll report that Tanya, who's the coordinator over at Susanna Lease, shared that the two very regular folks that have been showing up are folks who never attend anything.
Wow.
So
That's really
they come to
good.
meals and they go back to their
So
space.
there's finally something that got
Yeah,
them
so
out
it's working. And they talk about it at lunch with friends. So it's he's the talk of the facility, right? So, and we have, should I point you out? Chris has been doing our WOW delivery for more than 20 years. Around 20 years. That's 20 years.
Wow.
What, exactly. Wow. She gets to connect with all of those individuals and.
Yeah, and I agree because he's reading when I'm delivering the books.
Yeah.
There, and it's the same couple of people, but one of them is a gal that used to read all the time, but she can't concentrate
And she just really enjoys it. And then they were at our little coffee or whatever that we had. And at first I was disappointed to go back through and just see one or two people, but that really encourages me to say that it's cheap. Because I know that Melody hardly reads out, so that's.
Absolutely, and I feel like it's a worthwhile program, you know, if we are hitting one or two folks on a regular basis. You know, this is-
And it's Thomas doing both of them now?
Okay, I think it's expanded to adding another day. So now we have to get more stuff for him to read, so he's been sending in suggestions of collections. We're still focusing on short stories so that they can get a one and done. And then, yeah, it's kind of fun. So that's just exciting to report. And I want to just make sure you all are aware that the Astoria Library is closed for renovation. Today, in about 15 minutes, they're having the official groundbreaking at the Astoria Public Library. And they will reopen in their tentative space on September 16th. Monday, September 16th. So during that time, you know, we sort of suspended some holds. We have some workarounds for things because they're not taking any materials back at Astoria and they're not sending any materials out for holds.
I thought I heard on the radio this morning that they're having a big book sale in the basement there.
They are on this weekend. They're having
On the 7th?
yep,
That's this weekend.
Yep, this Saturday, they're having a book sale down in the basement. And there's all sorts of other interesting items that they would really love to not have to move. So bring your cash and,
I'll be in Alaska.
oh yeah, you'll be on it. Well, tell all your friends to show up. So, and I'll message you. It's very excited. And I will also share that the Blue Scorcher Bakery with your library card, and that's any of the 3 library cards in our cooperative, Warrenton, Astoria, or Seaside, received 25% off a loaf of bread.
Oh,
Wow, so good to know.
how about that?
I don't know, I guess, I don't know if Suzanne's been able to have it with them.
Just one day.
I think it's now, no, it's now, you can just show up and show your library
every day.
card. 25%.
Do you know how long they're gonna be in the furniture store?
So they're moving to 1512 Duane, which is kitty corner from Blue Scorcher in the old Roby's.
The Roby's building.
The Roby's building.
Isn't it, so there's some
The
kind of
Astoria Library.
antique, you know,
And it used to be
junk
fun.
store downstairs. Are they getting out or the library
was
just gonna be
JC.
upstairs? No,
Oh.
different building.
I think that they moved. I think that. So I'm not sure what the space looks like we'll be moving into.
Anyway, do you know?
They
how
have
long
it reserved for a year. My understanding, on the Astoria Library webpage, there's lots of information about the whole process. And that's where they'll be posting updates about the renovation, but they
Right
do
near
anticipate a
Prospect.
year.
They're every day.
Yeah, so they're anticipating a year that it will be closed. So it's pretty exciting.
Okay, very exciting.
And we were invited to be on the, I think it's called the Friday Arts Program on CAMUN. So,
With what's her name? Carol Newman.
yeah, so she had Suzanne and Dan McClure from the community college, and I was supposed to go, and that was the day I got COVID. So I did not attend. But she did highlight harp music and talked about the harp program. So I know that we got a little extra plug on that, even though I wasn't there. So that's. Let's see. We are looking to finalize a 3D. I probably should have made this like new business because I don't know if we need to discuss it, but we can always put it back on there. As you know, we have a 3D printer, and up to this point, the process and the policy and the procedures has been none. We just sort of, we print what we want. We don't print weapons just because that makes sense, you know, things like that. So we don't print things that take way too long because we don't have someone here to monitor it. So we realized that as the interest is growing in having patrons have things printed, we decided it was time for a policy.
So I started working on one. Josh gathered some details from other groups who do have 3D printing policies and kind of found some points that made the most sense to us. And I've drafted one. It's way too wordy, but that's the way policies are. And Alex and I are working on kind of the details of what it's going to look like, but we are going to get to a point where we are going to be charging for it, a nominal fee, but it'll help offset the cost of the purchase of the filament. And you see about 10 cents a gram seems to be where that lands. And again, no weapons, nothing that, violates copyright, intellectual property rights and things like that. So the policy is coming together. Probably what I'll do is bring it to y'all maybe at a future meeting so you can review it and give me your input and see if there's anything else that you feel like needs to be in it. And then we'll get going with that. That's the 3D printing plan. And I did get invited back. I'm so excited. It was like my highlight of last year to the civics class, Christy York's civics class up at Seaside High School, where they learn about what it is to be a good citizen. And then she invites members of the community to come to various classes, and they interview us. And so I'll just be there for one class, and then they get to ask me questions. And they asked such amazing questions last year, so I'm looking forward to doing that again.
What grade level?
Ninth grade physics, civics.
Did you?
And she has a really amazing view of her class.
I'm sure.
I don't know how they ever get anything done like that in high school. It's pretty phenomenal. I think those are, one other thing that I didn't put into the policy, again, I can bring this, did I make that happen? Okay, there we go. There's something called the Oregon Library Passport Program. And if you've lived in other parts of Oregon, you may be familiar with it. Astoria is already a participating library. It costs nothing to join. But essentially what we do is we agree to allow individuals who have library cards from other participating Oregon libraries come to our library and get a library card. So I'm thinking we have an individual, a family, they have a cottage in Earhart, but they live in Hillsborough. They have a library card from Hillsborough, and they would like to use the library here. And because they're outside of the city limits, they can purchase a library card. So the Oregon Library Passport Program is a way for folks who are coming here, but also our library card holders can go to other participating libraries and get a library card for their, if they're in Beaverton or down in Bend and Deschutes. So this says a couple of things. I need to check with Suzanne to get a sense of how many, and I could probably run that report, how many we actually have, how many special passport library cards there are. And if we were to join in, we would just follow the policy that Astoria already has, which is they limit it to 3 items because they figure if someone's just visiting for a short period of time, 3 items seems appropriate. And they wouldn't have access to like interlibrary loan or things like that, but they would have access to like culture passes and library things.
Oh, the culture
passes.
Wow.
So the Maritime Museum, the Seaside Aquarium. Soon we'll have the Parks Pass. So Washington State Parks Pass should be coming in for next year.
That's very interesting.
And they have to return the items back to us, or?
I did, yes.
Yes, they don't take them back to home library, because then you have to think about.
And that sort of lands on the home library to determine how it gets back to us. So in some larger systems, they have either the budget in place or a courier system that would allow for those to be sent back. So
then you would have to, Seaside would have to develop a policy then say I'm traveling to Bend, and I go check something out at Bend and I bring it back to Seaside, are we gonna let me do that?
Right.
Because that's gonna be a cost.
And I think it's
to
kind of part of the, I mean, it basically says that the user, the patron
Mhm.
agrees that, you know, any items checked out from a participating library are then returned to that participating.
Yeah, I think that's so.
But when?
Well, you get a, you're gonna have a new date, just like anything else.
Otherwise it'd be like, I'll be back here next summer.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool, right?
Right.
And I'll ask for the lost book.
Don't take 3 books if you can only read 1 in a week you're here.
I like them using it more to.
So you mean go like that, get 3 books all year?
At a time, 3 books at a time. 3
Will
books
the
at
new
a
dates be the same as the normal library cards?
Yeah, I think the only limitation was that it was just limited to the amount of items. So right now our limit is 50.
Bisbee?
Oh,
50.
Yeah, in there.
Maybe I should have told you that, Cheryl, but.
So how are you going to differentiate when they come to the desk?
It'll be on their card. So they would actually get a physical Seaside Public Library card. And they would be registered in our system as a passport library card holder. And if they tried to check out a 4th item, it would get blocked. But we would have, you know, all of their identifying information, so if we needed to contact them. We'd all be- Yeah, so we're looking to add that too. And I'm not sure if that's something that needs to, you know, be added to kind of our policies, the fuller policies, because I know it's part of Astoria's right now. And I'm not sure if Warrenton is gonna join
I
in.
think we're gonna need some policy about that.
Yeah, I would say you need policies, and so I'll ask you a question from the perspective of somebody who checks out a lot of stuff. If I came in today, and let's say I live in Bend, I came from vacation, I come in today and I check out 3 things. Can I come back tomorrow and check out 3 more things?
You can only have 3 items at a time
Yes,
on your
okay.
card.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's the limit. You can come today and check out 1, you can come tomorrow and check out 1.
Yes.
Yeah. But 3 total items added. So those are kind of the things buzzing around.
It is.
I had a question, last meeting, you told us about going to Guadalajara for the. And you're returning December 4th and the board meeting is December 3rd.
I have that on my little notes, I was looking ahead to the future meetings. So I guess I would put it out to you all if you wanted to either hold the meeting without me.
No. Oh. Well, it's still.
Then can we change it to the 10th? Cause I'll be back, I'm gonna extend my
I'm okay
time.
with that.
I think that's a great idea.
Yes. That meeting will be December 10th.
And it will be held completely in Spanish.
Okay.
I think we should just come to Guadalajara and.
Yeah, we'll have a board meeting in Guadalajara.
That sounds good. Maybe 1 year we will all go to, study.
Oh, sure.
Wow. Well, you would still be,
Alumni.
yes,
Well, let you, yeah, just.
all right, so
Well, your term doesn't end till the end of the year, does it?
but you can't come this year to Guadalajara.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If we went in the future, a future
A
meeting.
future.
Yeah, it's not like the city's gonna pay our way.
And that's the beauty of this. I think it's very little quick.
Okay, are there any questions for Jennifer? All right, we will go on to old business, the library board succession planning. And I guess onboarding plan for the new board members, but pretty much both.
Yeah, and those are just things I think we kind of want to keep thinking about, and I'll probably just keep them on there until we.
Until we're
Yes.
succeeding.
Until we're succeeded. And, you know, I do know that we have a number of applications in to serve on the library board.
Already?
Yeah, in the pipeline, they all live with Kim Jordan at City Hall.
So people are already,
The people live with Kim.
I know, I'm waiting for somebody to.
The applications live on her desk.
You know, that little back office there, there's a restroom. the other
They're all
end.
in there.
They're all niches. They're all, they're a hazing process.
They don't have far to walk from the.
So the timeline of it, you know, I need to check in with Kim, because of course I don't believe we can bring in applications until we have the vacancy.
That's correct.
So,
What happens is when she announces the vacancy to us at the council, if she's got any applications, then she'll put those in our packet as well. And then we decide how long to hold the application process open.
okay. So looking at the timing of it, I don't know if things would be in the packet on the 23rd of December or not until the 13th of January.
Probably, if she's gonna be proactive, I would say the 23rd is when she's gonna be telling us that the positions are vacant as of the 31st.
Tita, are all applicants interviewed?
No, what happens is that we take a look at them and we decide which ones we want to interview. If there's very few of them, if there's not very many, usually we interview them all. I don't know that we've ever had a situation where we had so many applicants that we kind of went through and pick and choose. To some extent, you almost think if people are going to put applications in, I think the courteous thing for the council is probably to interview everybody. We have paired people out if they don't actually fit the parameters. I think you have to, I don't know if this one, I don't remember how many people can live outside the city. But we've got different parameters for different.
When I first served, Russ was the president of the board and he lives in Dearborn.
Right.
Right,
Same zip code.
Same zip code, so that's the parameter where.
no, because Tess lives in Warrenton.
Where you live in
But you-
Washington.
And I think you'd have to,
Is
you have to
one
look at our
parameters-
ordinances, but I think we're allowed to have one board member who lives outside of the city.
Do they have to?
I think it's the
already
only board that does.
No, we have, the airport committee
Oh.
allows that as well. And maybe there might be another one.
So Kim's taking applications now for the. I went
You
a
know-
couple months ago and she wouldn't take any applications yet until it was announced, but you're saying there's somewhere in the pipeline?
My understanding is that, I think it comes from, like an organizational standpoint of if folks are sending in applications far in advance of there being an opening, there's possibly the potential of them landing in a file that we forget where it is.
Well, I didn't know if it was close enough. I think that was like now, it's several months ago.
I don't think,
I guess Joyce is asking, should she get her application or if she already asked about it?
But I don't know if Kim's taking it yet.
Right.
that's true.
Just,
I would think if our last board meeting of the year is December 10th, then I would think December 11th is when there would be 2 vacant seats,
That makes sense.
right?
Well, theoretically, it's till the end of the year.
Till the 31st.
You're actually on the board, just in case there's an emergency
Special
board
session
meeting, special session, yeah. So they do it on the calendar. So,
I have a note here to check with Kim about that, so
Mhm.
for our next meeting, I'll have more details about that.
right. And I do believe applications are available online.
Yeah,
I don't think you have to walk into City Hall anymore to get the application.
unless you want to do that.
well, I always like to go in and say hi. Thank you.
Sure, of course.
Absolutely.
So. Is that?
And I have two
Everything
positions
is on the agenda.
Yeah, I think just keep thinking about, if there are folks in the community that you think would be a good fit, chat with them about.
I've done that.
So,
And then in terms of the onboarding plan, I think it would be great if we could think about things that you would have found helpful as you're coming in as a new board member. And feel free to just email those to me and I'll start creating a file and can put together a little, checklist of things and we can put together a packet and
I'll have to see if I still have it, but when I first came on the board, Rita was the library director. And she had a booklet that was really helpful. That was for Seaside Library new board members, and then she had a booklet that was for the Oregon Library Association that had information about that.
Okay.
I don't know if I still have it, and it's probably old now,
but for a framework, I think
Probably
it's
wouldn't
a
apply.
good place to start.
but I don't remember after that we did anything in particular.
and I would say part of the onboarding packet would include the library policies and procedures.
I think that's all that I got.
How about for next, for our next meeting, I will do my best to start a framework that I can then share out as part of the packet for you all to review. So we'll keep it there on that old business. So
And
that
I'll
we
see
can-
if I can find my old stuff.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll just keep, adding to that framework.
But even though most likely your applicants are gonna be library users, it still is really nice to give a formalized tour and to do a face-to-face introduction to every library staff person. I think that's nice for the board member. I think it's very nice for the staff as well.
And then, of course, dinner and drinks.
All right. Sounds good. Leland. Thank you, Josh. Sending me those ideas. That'll help keep it in the forefront of my mind too, but I'll spread something.
Okay. Are we done with that part? Is there anything else you wanted to bring up? Okay, thank you. New business, library website redesign.
Yes, so yay is right. We, Alex and I have been working on coming at the website from a different perspective. So we, the platform that we're currently using for the design is no longer really fitting our needs. It's no longer supported. It's an older platform. So Alex was playing around with different programs that would create a library page for us. I mean, some people will spend thousands of dollars on a design and have someone come in and create that for us. And I feel like we have a lot of talent here in-house that we can tap into. So the first step probably the hardest step was coming up with colors. Because I wanted it to, let me see if I think I can pull this up here. Nope, that's the wrong mouse. Many computers should be able. Slowly. So what I would like for us to be able to do is, or what we ended up. Too many categories and too many. I wanted it to be somewhat in alignment with the city of Seaside's colors.
Right.
So that we look high because we are, part of the city. Thankfully, we don't. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, the logo's got those claims in it.
Yeah, and what he did, and we also looked at the Tourism Bureau. And they have, of course, some brighter
are your colors? Let me see it. But I understand that they are looking at doing some changes.
To the colors?
I don't know exactly to what.
And this obviously is much different, and actually the convention center is also sort of similarly branded. So I think the plan, so what we've come up with, and I don't think I can show it to you here because I don't have the login, but it's essentially like the city colors with a little bit of like a pop of bright. So a little more of, see, I love orange, so there's some stuff in there. So we should have something to be able to show you in the next few meetings. That we sort of landed on a palette that we would stick with. That seemed that it was, it did tie in with our logo. We've actually enhanced the logo a bit. The book, you know, waving it, giving it a little more vibrancy. And then the big, you know, while choosing colors was challenging, it's really the architecture. So looking at the architecture of, you know, how you navigate through a web page and what you see on that main page and what are the sub pages that you need. So we're in the process of creating that architecture right now.
What do you say, you and Alex?
Primarily,
Is
yeah.
there a library website that you're really liking and kind of using as a guide?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, design is so interesting, like you'll see one that you just think, oh, yeah, like that one just feels good, and then if you start to sort of pick apart why it is, maybe it's missing pieces or the font is just sort of too flowy. We're actually, I believe some of these are proprietary fonts because it was designed by a design committee, but we're trying to match, you know, the very basic fonts, because as you know, our beautiful library site has a lot going on. Brace yourselves. And these buttons don't even work anymore.
Yeah, it's really weird to navigate it.
It's challenging.
It's frustrating.
It is.
So
I don't go there anymore.
And some of the
See, that's-
content is not quite accurate.
and we're gonna work on accuracy, and there's also just big chunks that are missing. I think that, you know, we have.
Are you gonna give like Friends and the foundation an opportunity to create their own pages to link?
Yes, I mean, ideally, they would live
Yeah.
externally from our page.
Right.
But we would link them, you know, we would have links. Again, not this, but
No, I
in that
understand.
architecture, we'll have it in there. So
But things like searching the catalog are still gonna be with Circe.
yeah, we can't change that yet.
This catalog search sucks.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
I spent all afternoon with Circe trying to figure out some things since Alex is out today, so that there's a bit of that, yes. So there's some things that will that we're not able to change, so the catalog is
Right.
of course something we have through 27.
And how long do you think this will take?
Well, we've been working on it behind the scenes probably for 6 months already. I think we're probably pretty close to producing like a skeleton of the page, and then, you know, with placeholders for all of the sub pages that we're gonna build. But the basics of what we need our library webpage is for, you know, how to get in touch with us, how to link to our catalog, how to access our policies. So some of those things will still, those are like easy plugins, and of course the calendar.
Yeah, the events.
And then all of the other sort of sub pieces we'll be able to build behind, but we wanted to be sure that we had colors and, you know, fonts, which, you know, have those all in alignment, and then the architecture. So we have created
And the functionality, and I have to say that this site, is better than it has been in the past. I mean, it has been improved. And it feels more, active and less solid than it used to.
What's the summer reading swag store?
This is something that we set up with Big Lake
Where
Prints.
they get
You can
prizes?
You can purchase, so folks were really enjoying this, this image that we had from this year's summer reading theme, the renew, repeat. So Christy from Big Lake Print created this store for us, so you can even get yourself.
If I've got that correct,
The book. Lecture from the library.
Well, we're looking, so we could create a whole other store with Christie that would have like our logo on it. We could also do, we're looking to see if we can do the free between the lines, because the image is really, really easy.
and with this store, if I order, they're the ones that are doing the fulfillment. And the library gets a percentage of it, right?
She does, yeah, she can give us a little kickback. So here's.
Yeah, that's the way we have it set up with the Coaster Theater.
Yeah, it's just a really.
This is really nice.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So.
I've always wanted the one that's the Seaside Library. Always wanted one that's the Seaside Library logo. I mean, I wanted one for the library to be able to
Let's
sell
see if we can.
with the book, not just the.
Oh, I like that. Free people read free.
You know how the logo is,
That's
sometimes
nice.
has the book, sometimes doesn't. I like the one that's book best.
You mean like the, like this thing?
No, I mean, I like that
The
one.
one that it actually looks like a book.
An open book, yeah.
I like that one too, but I like the other one better. And when do you anticipate launching this new website?
Oh, that would be a crystal ball.
A month, 3 months?
It's
6 months?
probably like between 3 and 6 months, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely have some more work to do. I mean, it's looking.
April Fool's Day.
It's looking really good. Alex is doing a great job of, building the pieces back in.
Sure.
And again, I wanted to start with less is more. Let's strip everything away and just start putting back in what we feel like we have to have and what we need. So, well, it will be a work in progress. It won't be just sort of like, here's the final product. And I also want to point out that, for example, Astoria's library page lives under the City of Astoria's website structure, which I have found most libraries that have that, because it's what's dictated to them. It can feel pretty restrictive. So I'm thankful that our city does not require us to have our page live within the framework of the cities.
In there.
Yeah, correct.
Excellent.
What I'd love to be able to see too is, with the invitation to the Friends of the Library, is when they get up and going again, active. That something like, the newsletter can be on that site too. And Cosmos, that it can be available that way.
What we did find with this new web design, web platform, essentially, web hosting platform, there is a feature that we could activate emails to library card holders if folks. opt in.
Great.
So we're, again, that's part of that architecture and figuring out how to add those pieces back
So
in.
by subscription or, yeah, okay.
So you can opt in for a library newsletter, that's different than the Friends.
Exactly.
So we have to have all of those things come together and figure out.
You saw the one I sent you this morning.
Yeah. So. What's happening?
Something's not happening clear.
I don't just stop at the American Legion. Yeah, so it really opens up a lot of possibilities. I think that's. So do you want ideas from people or?
Definitely, I'm imagining that when we get it to a place, to share with y'all, that we'll have you, pick it apart and give us some feedback. What needs to be there,
Maybe
what
we
doesn't.
could run like a beta version.
Yeah, there's definitely like a login, that I could get to it.
So I review RJ's sub stuff, beta version.
Yeah, I'll see if I can, get that.
Okay. No more questions?
I should have asked this during old business, but will you update us on how the reshelving is going from the multilingual to the regular collection?
We're just waiting, right now because, the shelving hasn't arrived for the Seaside Signals yet. And, the ranges of the collection, we're still, I think of it as like that little, slidey square game where like you have one
Yes,
open spot
yes.
and so you slide and you slide and you slide. So we're trying to create an opening, because right now there isn't really an opening. So we need to weed the collection, which we're doing pretty heavily, to make space, one, to just make space, but also make space specifically for relocating Spanish language materials to those other areas. And then once we do that, then we get the other shelving in, we can put that shelving in.
I knew you're hoping to do it during Hispanic Heritage Month, so my house going.
Yes, we will be highlighting the collection that we do have, so, the beautiful fiction that's been, it's unfortunately, it's all American authors, it's been translated into Spanish, but,
You might probably have a cabinet display.
yeah.
So has there been any thought of consulting with either Consejo Hispanico or El Centro Norwest?
I've actually met with each of them.
To see what they think, how to do sort of a focus group of Hispanic speakers. And how would the library work best for them?
Yeah, that's actually what I have started as
Good, good.
part of this process of going to Guadalajara is, and being part of Libros for Oregon, is to have 3 targeted community engagement projects around serving the Spanish speaking community. So I did meet with Maria from Minerva from the El Centro Norwest. And she came over I met her over there and she came over to the library and I showed her the space and so she'll be talking with, the folks that she's in touch with. Engagement about what folks would like to see more of. And as I hear Spanish being spoken in the library, I will jump out of my library office and come out and try not to terrify them too much with my exuberance, but talk with them about what sorts of materials they would like to see. So
There's that Hispanic Heritage Month celebration next door. And last year they had a bunch of tables around from different community groups. I wonder if the library could get in on that next
so
year.
we are
Even this year.
Might be too late, but maybe.
I'm actually already on it.
Are you?
There's a lot of things I don't tell you guys. I can't remember all the things I do every day. But yes, Norma reached out and said that she didn't want it to be like a community. She wanted it to be more of a fun event. So less about like community resource things, but she said, but I want the library there. So I will be there. I think
When is that?
it's the 21st.
Where is it?
It's at the Sunset Community or Sunset Recreation Center.
Yep, so on the 21st,
From 4 to,
4 to 7.
yes.
So I'll have a table, I'm gonna bring materials over, I'm gonna
maybe have folks be able to give me ideas of what they would like to see, get folks
Can you
signed up
speak
for my
Spanish?
cards. Sí, un poquito.
Un poquito.
No.
Sí.
Más despacio, por favor. It's my turn. Yes. So I'm willing to help you if you need help. Great, thank you.
You speak Spanish?
Un poquito. So yeah, on the 21st, thank you for asking that because that it's on my radar, but not a lot.
We can't tell us everything to do, this would be an all week meeting.
Okay, thank you. Our next meeting is October 1st. And is there any public comment?
I'm gonna pass along a compliment that I got from one of my neighbors. Pauline Goldstein has one of the houses like right on the beach. A long time, I mean, they built that house before I moved here 27 years ago. And she was here last weekend with her, and she had her daughter and some of the grandkids came into the library. And they were amazed what a beautiful library we had, and they checked out a bunch of books. You know, and they just really, and she was real impressed with the children's section. And so I said I would pass that on to my library friends.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good. That's always good to hear positive comments.
I think just to piggyback on that, because you made me remember that because Astoria is closed, we are seeing a lot more Astoria patrons coming down here to either pick up holds or just to have access to a space.
Cool.
And it's kind of a neat opportunity to be able to connect with folks in other parts of the county. Yeah. So, one of my friends, Kathy Ryan, who's married to Tom Ryan, their son and his wife and their two little kids are coming, they'll be here tomorrow for a week. So Kathy came to the library after I made some suggestions, but this is something that we should make sure people know about is if you've got your grandkids visiting and stuff, she checked out about 15 picture books for the little kids to use, and she checked out the passport to take them to the Maritime Museum, and so there's ways that if we can let families know more during the summer, there's things you can do. But one thought, I know it's too late now, but you might think about next summer having a table at the Wednesday market. And if we could somehow get some free books to give away, and I know there's grants for that. I'm trying to remember who was giving away free books in Warrenton. It was on somebody's board, we were doing that. Anyway, but that's another way to get the library known to people. And that might be something we, if we continue with the Classic Works intern, because of course for us, tabling is a great idea, but tabling takes a body.
Yeah, I would also suggest that maybe do it once or twice during the season,
Not every day.
You have to do it every time. Maybe kick off or something.
the one closest to 4th of July or something.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Okay.
Was there anything, now that History in Box is starting up again, is there anything that you have planned there? As you had talked about, everybody meetings ago about the association with them?
Yes, the first History and Hops is Thursday, September 26th. And that will be York, the Zachary Stocks from Oregon Black Pioneers will present.
presentation here.
Yeah, so he's talked about, he has so many different sort of out of the box presentations, and the one on York was the one that Mayor Wright was most interested in having presented, so that'll be on the 26th.
And will you be involved in any way, or the librarian?
Yeah, I'll be, I haven't talked with the mayor about this just yet, but I anticipate that, sort of at the beginning when they do the whole spiel of, it's sponsored by the museum, and I'll be like, and by the library, and talk about, stuff that's coming out of the library. So I'll have that opportunity to do a little plug.
And Leah, the vice president of the museum, is also on the Library Foundation Board.
Right.
So there's a lot of good connections.
There's only so many volunteers we can have in a town of 7,000, so I'll double dipping.
Okay, is there anything else? Thank you, meeting is adjourned.
Right to live.
Right, that's.
Talk about good timing.
Wow.
We check out to see we have a lot.